Hey everybody, I'm Jarius, and I have some studies to show you. So, as ever, I have been studying Sky Above Me art as of late, and these here, as you're seeing, are some studies that I have been doing of her art and trying to understand the approaches and the thought processes that she's having while she's making the art, essentially, and taking my own approach to it and doing my very best to understand it and incorporate it in a way that makes sense. And so, after those practices, I figured, okay, now it's time to put it into work, and so I do want to put it first and say that, of course, I did trace the line art or the sketches, to make it the process much faster, because it would take much longer if I did it from scratch. But even then, as I was tracing them, I really took deep focus into her approach to her sketches phase, or like the line art, because her art style is very fun to see, because it's not pitch perfect line art. It's like the sketchy and beautiful style of line art, and so as ever, that's been the secondary focus. The primary study that I really wanted to understand on her art is how she colors, and so I figured I already have a brush that has been my main brush for pretty much everything, and so I used it to figure out and try to understand her methods, essentially. And so one thing that is important, that I do love to see, and that made me happy to realize, is that her sketches and her actual art, it's there is a common theme to it, as far as like the poses is concerned and the body. And so with that in mind, it makes it good to understand the shapes, and that goes as well with the hair. Her character design for the hair is very beautiful, and is made for a great study and understanding of the way she goes about hair. Because especially, another thing that makes her art unique and that I really love is how she renders hair and her overall approach to drawing. And so I wanted to really work to understand that as well. And so the thing about doing the sketches of like her hair is like that's where it becomes more like line art, because there isn't a whole lot of erasing over and drawing it again. Although she did do that, like figuring out how it's called, like when you draw over, yes, that's the word I'm looking for. You draw over the line art with the the color of the darker shadow of the painting is what I was picking up on, and was trying to get for myself, to see if that's what it was that she was doing. And of course, it's not like this was a situation where she sat me down and she was teaching me what her art. It's like a pretty much seeing throwing on the wall and seeing what sticks. And figuring out like her approach to coloring, and like, does she use the blending modes? And then it turns out I'm pretty sure she does use multiply, but also like a combination of just normal layers too, because I did have to resort to that a bit to be more of the specific style of coloring it. That probably doesn't make sense, but basically it's like a mixture of multiply and being honest with it, like as far as the approach is concerned, because I do love it when it turns out that, oh, this isn't as difficult or as complicated as I thought it would be. It's one step at a time, right? We gotta take things one step at a time. And so studying artists, it makes it to where it's putting me in that position, like where I'm kind of like having to think like they do, with how they approach things in their style. So that said, I'm still figuring out the proper approach to like laying down the base colors of things, because there have been like bits and pieces where I didn't get the coloring down, or like there's a blind spot, like a white I didn't get the color in, so it's like, oh man, no. Like I wonder the proper and best way to color in base colors, because I do have a brush that I was using to lay it down as far as the colors is concerned, and then I just go in and finish it, but aside from all that, it's a trial and error, it's trial and error. But another thing that I like about it too is like like getting the lines to be clean is something that makes it fun. And not even just that, but like when it comes to rendering too, like making sure that there isn't a missed spot, essentially, to where it's not like fully rendered enough. And so I was doing what I can with understanding her shading with the skin here, because fortunately with her skin, it's digestible, thankfully, enough for me especially, so that's always a plus. And then with rendering her clothing, it also makes room for playing around, because It always makes it to get creative, you know. Of course, this reference is not a drawing reference. It's a reference. It sounds silly, but so it made it to where I was kind of getting off the training wheels, so to speak, and uh, figuring out how approaching it in a way that is influenced on her art, and so that made it fun. And uh, looking back at this, it's really nice to see it come together and not get so fixated on making it look exactly like her art, because that's not so much the objective here that I had in mind. It was to simply illustrate it in a way that it's like it looks like it is definitely influenced by her art style, and so I feel like that's what really we hit home here, at least I feel. And so it's like taking whatever dub we can, especially with the hair. As I said earlier, I feel like her ways of rendering hair are like really what makes her art style unique and pleasing to the eye. And so I really wanted to figure that out in the best way possible. And so in here especially is where I made fun with multiply and playing around with the normal layer modes, as well as like the hard light, um, and all that stuff, because the layer modes, they add for endless possibilities, really, and the approach to things. They also make it for a quick uh, turnaround, or however you say it. So, like, there doesn't have to be so much focus on color theory, because we gotta study on that too, for sure. But other than that, I mean, we're getting to the end here. Um, I do hope you've enjoyed this study that I've been sharing. Good stuff all around. And with all that, I'll see you later. Bye bye.